What happens when a CEO disguises himself as a smoothie trainee and finds out teen workers are being forced to skip their meals? Yale Zimmerman stood in the back office of his company's headquarters, flipping through a stack of incident reports from Store 17. The numbers didn't look bad. Sales were steady, customer complaints were average, and staff retention had been better than most locations. Still, something bugged him. He couldn't put his finger on it, but every time Store 17 came up in meetings, the district manager, Paul, rushed past it. Paul was always ready to talk about the other 18 smoothie bars Yale owned, but when it came to this one, he changed the subject or skimmed through updates like he was hiding something. Yale bought the smoothie chain 6 years ago from a couple who wanted to retire. Since then, he'd built it into a 19-location business, mainly spread across college towns and suburban malls. He didn't know most of the hourly staff personally. That was by design. Corporate branding, uniforms, and a rotating door of part-time workers made it easy to stay anonymous. It helped when he needed to go undercover. He texted his assistant to set things up. By the next afternoon, he had a fresh ID badge that read Ian, a basic uniform, a new pair of sneakers, and a fake resume that said he was a laid-off warehouse worker trying to get back on his feet. "I'll be the new guy," he told Paul over the phone. "Just for a week. I want to see how the store runs without the usual filters." Paul hesitated. 17? That one solid. Yale. "You sure?" "Yeah. I want to see it for myself." Yale showed up on a Wednesday afternoon in a borrowed beat-up Corolla. Nobody recognized him, not even the assistant manager who gave him the welcome packet and stuck him with the closing shift. That was the point. Most of the workers were high school or college kids. He had never met any of them. The store itself looked fine. Clean counters, stocked fruit bins, music playing low in the background. The manager on duty was a woman in her late 30s named Carla. She gave him a quick run-through of the register and blending station, then left him in the hands of a 17-year-old named Bria. Bria was sharp, patient, and way too fast for someone making minimum wage. "You'll get used to the rush," she said, showing him how to prep bananas with one hand while ringing up a customer with the other. "Just don't fall behind. Carla gets real mad when we're slow." Yale nodded, watching her closely. She barely spoke to Carla when she passed by. When she did, her posture stiffened. By the end of the night, Yale's back ached. His fingers were sticky, and he had blended more kale than he ever wanted to see again. As they cleaned up, he noticed Bria's stomach growl. Loud. "You okay?" he asked. She looked embarrassed. "Yeah, just didn't eat dinner." He frowned. "There's leftover protein smoothie in the back fridge. Want some?" She glanced toward the office door, then shook her head quickly. "No, we're not supposed to eat during shifts, even if we're starving." Yale stared at her. "Who said that?" "Carla," she said in a whisper. "She says it looks unprofessional. Said if we want hours, we have to stay focused, not snacking like kids." Yale leaned against the counter, trying to keep his face neutral. "You're not allowed to take a break?" "Only on paper," Bria said. "She doesn't let us. I've seen her yell at people for asking. She told Sky she could go eat or keep her job. Not both." He didn't say anything, just nodded like he understood. Inside, his chest burned. The next day, Yale arrived early. The morning crew was different, but the energy was the same, quiet, tense, like everyone was waiting for something to go wrong. He worked with a kid named Tyler who barely spoke unless spoken to. At one point, Tyler reached for a granola bar from his backpack. Carla walked in at that exact moment. "Put that away," she snapped. Tyler froze. I didn't eat breakfast. Not my problem. You eat on your time, not mine." Yale stepped in. "He's on a 10-hour shift today." She didn't look at him. "If he can't handle it, he can leave." Tyler shoved the bar back in his bag, eyes down. Yale's jaw locked. He needed more time. He needed to be sure. That night, after close, he asked Bria again. Does she always do that? Bria hesitated. Then, she says we're replaceable. That if we want to act like adults, we should work like adults. No breaks. No food. Just grind. How long's it been like this? Bria shrugged. Always. Yale nodded slowly. Thanks for telling me. He walked to the back, hands shaking slightly. It wasn't just about the policy. It was about the way Carla spoke to them, the cold, dismissive tone, the power trip, the fear she instilled in kids barely old enough to drive. He stared at himself in the bathroom mirror, still in his Ian uniform. He hadn't expected this. He thought maybe the numbers were off, maybe customer service was slipping. But this? Forcing teenagers to skip meals just to keep their hours? He hadn't felt this angry in years. Tomorrow he would test her, push her, see if it wasn't just one bad day. And then he would decide what came next. Friday started with a delivery truck arriving 2 hours late, and Carla in a foul mood. Yale stood at the sink rinsing strawberries when he heard the back door slam. Carla stormed through, her voice raised before she even reached the front. Everything's behind now, she barked. Tyler, prep the mango station. Bria, you're on double register until the lunch crew shows. Bria glanced up from slicing kiwis. I've still got to stock the almond milk and protein powder. You think I care? Carla snapped. Move. Yale stayed quiet, watching the way Bria's hands trembled slightly as she switched tasks. Carla didn't acknowledge him, just tossed a clipboard onto the counter and walked off, muttering under her breath. By 10, the lobby was packed with students and gym goers. The shift was short 2 people. Carla hadn't scheduled replacements. When a customer asked for a receipt reprint, Bria tried to explain the system had a delay. I've got class, the woman said sharply. Can you just do your job? Before Bria could respond, Carla cut in from behind. She's new, she said flatly. Patience isn't your strong suit, huh? The customer blinked, surprised. Excuse me? Carla didn't flinch. It's a smoothie, not surgery. You'll survive. As the woman walked out muttering, Bria looked down, her cheeks flushed. Yale kept his mouth shut, but he was already planning what he'd say later. At noon, the line was out the door. Tyler's hands were moving so fast on the blender that his knuckles were scraped raw from the counter edge. Carla stayed in the back, calling out orders once every few minutes, but doing nothing else. Yale leaned toward him. Where's the help? Tyler didn't look up. She sent Ruby home early. Said she was too slow. She was the only extra? Yeah. Carla reappeared just before the rush slowed. All right, everyone take 5, she said. Bathroom and back, no wandering. Bria stepped toward the fridge and pulled out a wrapped sandwich. Carla's voice cut across the room. No food. Bria froze. Carla, I haven't eaten since last night. Then maybe you should have packed something smarter. Protein bar, apple, something you can eat quick. There's no time to eat anything at all. Then don't. Carla turned to Yale. You too, Ian. No breaks unless I say so. Yale met her gaze. I've been here since opening. She shrugged. So has everyone else. If you're tired, maybe this isn't the job for you. Bria put the sandwich back. Her eyes didn't leave the floor. After the shift, Yale caught her outside near the bike rack. She was sitting with her head against the wall, earbuds in but no music playing. You all right? He asked. She nodded too quickly. You didn't eat all day. She pulled her knees up. I'll eat when I get home. That's not the point. She looked at him like she wanted to say something but decided not to. It's fine. I've worked worse jobs. How long you been here? This is my 2nd year. You ever get a raise? She laughed once, dryly. No. Carla told me raises are for team leads. And team leads are people who don't complain. Yale sat down beside her. That sound fair to you? No. But I don't have time to find something else. I've got school, siblings to help with, and my mom works nights. This place is close to home. He didn't ask anything else. Just nodded once and stood. Inside, Carla was sitting at the office desk, scrolling through her phone. Yale knocked once. Got a second? She didn't look up. Make it quick. You sent Ruby home early. We were drowning out there. She was dragging. Bria picked up the slack. She wasn't dragging. She was new. New doesn't mean slow's acceptable. I told her what to improve. If she can't handle it, she can walk. That how you talk to all your staff? Carla finally looked at him. Look. I've been running this store for 6 years. I know what works. These kids, they want praise for showing up. I don't have time to coddle. Not asking you to coddle. Just don't punish them for being human. She stood. You got a lot of opinions for someone who's been here 3 days. I listen more than I talk. Good. Then listen close. This isn't a charity. You want your hours, you follow my rules. Yale said nothing. Walked out. Saturday was worse. Sky, a quiet 19-year-old who mostly worked weekends, showed up 10 minutes late. Carla was waiting by the time clock. You're done, she said. Sky blinked. It's my first late clock in. And you're last. You're off the schedule. You're firing me? Carla crossed her arms. You want me to spell it out? Sky turned to walk back out, but her voice shook. I biked here. The tire popped. Not my problem. Yale stepped in. That's excessive. She's unreliable. She's a kid, with no prior issues. You don't even want to hear her out. Carla ignored him. Clock out or I'll do it for you. Sky left without another word. Yale followed her to the parking lot. You all right? She wiped her eyes fast. I don't need pity. I'm not offering pity. I'm offering clarity. You didn't deserve that. I've been here since last summer, she said. I missed one shift when my sister was in the ER, and Carla said if I ever pulled that again, she'd cut the cord. I've been scared to say anything since. Yale's jaw tightened. You still want to work here? I liked the work, not her. I'll fix it. She looked at him, confused, but didn't ask what he meant. The next morning, Yale arrived early before opening. He waited in the back lot until Carla's car pulled in. He followed her inside, locked the office door behind them. Before she could speak, he pulled off his name tag. You're talking to Yale Zimmerman, owner of this company, not Ian. Carla's face went pale. He laid a folder on the desk. I've worked 4 shifts under you. I've watched you berate staff, deny legally mandated breaks, fire someone over a flat tire, and threaten raises based on personal loyalty, not merit. You've broken policy and labor law. She opened her mouth, but he raised a hand. Don't even try. I've got audio. I've got written statements. I gave you rope and you built a gallows. What do you? You're done. Effective immediately. Your final check will be processed today. Security will escort you out. Do not contact any of my staff again. She stood up slowly. This is a mistake. You don't know what it's like running this place solo. Then you should have said that when I asked why the team was always short-handed. You didn't ask for help. You abused it. She looked like she wanted to argue, but instead grabbed her bag and walked out without another word. Yale waited until the door shut. Then he pulled out his phone. Brenda, he said when his assistant picked up. Send district HR to store 17. I want retraining, policy posted on every wall, and a hiring push to get the store back to full staff. No one works without breaks ever again. And bring Bria and Sky to headquarters tomorrow. I want to talk to them personally. He hung up, stood in the empty store, and looked around. It looked the same as it had on day one. But it didn't feel the same. That mattered. Yale sat across from Bria in a quiet conference room at the company's headquarters the next morning. She looked uncomfortable in the sleek leather chair, her hands folded tightly in her lap as she glanced around the unfamiliar space. A paper cup of water sat untouched in front of her. "I'm not in trouble, right?" she asked, her voice low. "No," Yale said. "Not even close." She nodded but didn't relax. He leaned forward. "I wanted to meet with you because I owe you an apology. What you've experienced in that store shouldn't happen in any business, especially not mine. And I would have never known if I hadn't seen it myself." She looked down. "I wasn't trying to start anything. I just talked." "I'm glad you did. That was the most honest look I've gotten at how things really are. You trusted me, even when you didn't know who I was." He paused. "I need your help." Her head snapped up. "Help? I can't fix this company from a desk. Not if people like Carla are allowed to run things unchecked. I want you to be part of rebuilding that store. But I'm not asking you to do it alone." Bria drew a shaky breath. "What would I be doing?" "You'd be interim team lead. You have the respect of the staff already. You know the job inside and out. I'll pair you with a new store manager, someone experienced. You won't be reporting to them. You'll be reporting directly to me." She stared at him, stunned. "You're serious? I don't offer fake titles. I'm 17. I know. What if I mess up?" "You already proved you won't. You've been holding that place together under someone who tried to break you down. Now I want to see what you do with someone backing you up." She blinked rapidly and nodded once, still clearly processing. Yale stood and extended a hand. "You start tomorrow. Come in early, meet the manager, walk the floor together. And Bria, don't let anyone make you feel small again." She rose slowly and took his hand. "Thank you." He gave her a small nod. "Don't thank me yet. We've got work to do." Later that afternoon, Sky arrived. She looked guarded, her arms crossed as she followed Yale into the same room. She didn't sit until he did. "You're not in trouble," he said immediately. She eyed him. "You're the guy from the store." "I am. And you own the company." He nodded. She leaned back slightly. "So what happens now?" "You were fired unfairly." "That's already been corrected. You're back on the schedule, same availability, same pay." Her expression didn't change. "And Carla?" "Gone." Sky's shoulders dropped the slightest bit. "I also want to offer you something else," Yale said. "We're launching a paid peer mentorship program. New hires get paired with team members who've worked at least 6 months. You'd be one of the first mentors." She raised an eyebrow. "To do what exactly?" "Support new staff. Help them adjust. Answer questions management might miss. You'd get a training stipend and a bonus based on how long you're meant to stay with us." Sky sat forward. "So, I'd be like a point person?" "Exactly. You've got a calm way of handling chaos. I saw that. We need people like you helping shape the culture moving forward." She studied him for a beat. "And this isn't just a PR thing?" "No," he said. "It's a correction. One of many." She nodded slowly. "All right, I'm in." By Tuesday morning, the changes were already rolling out. Yale stayed out of sight, letting the new manager, Denise, take the lead. She was in her 40s, had managed 3 different locations in the region, and had a reputation for high standards and low drama. She introduced herself with a clipboard in one hand and a detailed shift breakdown in the other. "We're not rebuilding from scratch," she told the team during the pre-shift huddle. "We're just clearing out the garbage that was keeping good people down." The crew glanced at each other, unsure whether to laugh. Denise didn't wait for a reaction. "Breaks are back. Timed and tracked. I don't care how busy we are. Everyone steps away when they're due. If we're short, I'll jump on register myself. No exceptions. That got a few surprised glances. Bria stood beside her, now in a charcoal polo that marked her new role. She didn't speak much, but she didn't need to. The staff noticed. When a new hire Nico, barely 16, froze during a rush, Bria stepped in smoothly, talked him through it, then let him finish the order himself. Confidence spread through the room like heat. Sky, back on her usual weekend shift, paired with a trainee named Rosa. She walked her through opening the fruit station, pointing out how to stack containers for speed. Rosa nodded, absorbing every word. "You'll get used to the pace," Sky said. "Just don't try to be perfect. Just be consistent." Rosa smiled. "Thanks. My last job didn't have anyone who actually explained stuff. That's why I'm here now." Yale watched from the back, arms folded. He didn't interfere. He didn't need to. Still, not everything smoothed out overnight. That afternoon, a man in his early 20s, Jason, showed up late for his shift. He strolled behind the counter, earbuds still in, and tapped the screen with barely a glance at the line forming. "Jason," Denise called. "Pause. Come here." He sighed and walked over. "No earbuds while clocked in," she said calmly. "You're on front today. Let's keep eyes up." He rolled his eyes. "I'm faster with music." "Maybe. But you're not faster with half your head somewhere else." He crossed his arms. "Carla never cared." "I'm not Carla." He didn't move. Denise didn't blink. "You can take the shift seriously, or you can take it off. Your call." He hesitated, then pulled the earbuds out. "Fine. Thank you." Later, Jason lagged behind in cleaning tasks. Denise flagged it without raising her voice. When he shrugged it off, she sent him home early. Yale approached her after close. "You thinking of keeping him?" "I'll give him one more day," she said. "But if that attitude sticks, he's out. I'm not babysitting grown men." "Fair enough." The next day, Jason didn't show up. No call. No message. Denise scratched him off the schedule without comment. By week's end, the crew moved like a unit. Yale watched as Bria coordinated mid-shift rotations, making sure nobody missed their break. Sky walked a new hire through closing procedures while Rosa took her first solo orders with a grin. Even Tyler, usually quiet, started offering tips to newer staff. At closing, Yale gathered everyone around. "I want to say something before I step back," he said. "I built this company because I believed in the work. But I lost sight of what happens down here, in the stores. That won't happen again." No one spoke, but they listened. "You've all been carrying more weight than you should have. That ends now. No more silence. No more fear. If something's wrong, speak up. If someone mistreats you, they're gone. We don't protect toxicity here. We protect each other." He turned to Bria. "You've been the anchor through all of this. Keep going." She nodded once, her face unreadable. But her crew looked at her differently now, with something close to pride. Yale gave a small nod and stepped away. The store still smelled like mango and bleach. The walls still echoed with blender noise and pop songs. But something had shifted. Not the rules, the people. And that was the only change that mattered. 2 weeks after the undercover operation, Yale returned to Store 17, this time without a uniform, without a disguise, and without slipping through the back door. He walked through the front entrance just after the morning rush ended. The floor was clean, the prep station organized, and the staff moved with quiet coordination. It still wasn't perfect, he didn't expect it to be, but what he saw felt real. Earned. Denise was at the register showing Nico how to handle a refund without calling a manager. She glanced up when she saw Yale and gave a short nod before returning to the task. No performance, no pretending, just work being done right. Bria noticed him next. She was checking inventory against the delivery manifest, clipboard in hand, hair pulled back neatly under a fresh company cap. She gave him a look like she didn't need him to say anything, but she appreciated him showing up. He waited until the floor was stable, then pulled her aside near the smoothie cooler. "You've had a couple weeks," he said. "How's it holding together?" Bria flipped the clipboard closed. "We're short one opener on Tuesdays. Still training Rosa to cover, but she's picking it up. Equipment's holding up. Den's been good about shift rotation. We've got people actually asking for extra hours now. What about you?" "I'm learning to delegate. Still figuring out how to give correction without sounding like Carla." Yale raised an eyebrow. Bria added, "I don't mean like that. I don't want people to freeze up just because something needs fixing. I've been trying to ask questions first. Like, what slowed you down today? Instead of, why aren't you faster?" "That's leadership," he said. "Not everyone's cut out for it. But I think you are." She nodded once, then hesitated. "There's something else," she said. "It's not a problem, just something I've noticed." "Go ahead." Jason came back. Yale's face darkened slightly. "He no-called, no-showed. That's not something we ignore. I told him that. He apologized to Denise, said he was dealing with some stuff at home. I don't know the details." She gave him a shot on prep, kept him off register. Yale folded his arms. "And he's quiet, keeps to himself, but no attitude, no earbuds. He showed up early today." Yale paused. "You trust him?" Bria considered that. "I don't know him well enough to say that, but he's putting in effort. I think he knows he's lucky to be back." "That's enough for now," Yale said. "Keep a close eye. If he slips, don't wait." Bria nodded. As they rejoined the floor, Skye walked in off shift, in casual clothes, holding a to-go coffee. She spotted Yale and didn't break stride. "You got a minute?" she asked. "Always," Yale said. They stepped outside near the sidewalk. Customers passed by with smoothies in hand, some stopping to check store hours posted on the glass. Skye didn't waste time. "Nico told me something I think you should hear. He didn't want to make it a thing, but I think it matters." Yale's jaw tightened slightly. "Go on." Apparently, one of the weekend shift leads from the other location, the guy covering Sundays here, made fun of his stutter. Called it cute in front of customers. Then told him not to take register until you can talk normal. Yale's voice dropped. "Who?" "Name's Troy. I checked the schedule. He's been floating between locations. I don't think Denise knew about it. He said it happened after she left." "Did Nico report it?" "No. Said he didn't want to stir anything up. But he hasn't been the same since. Quieter." Yale didn't hesitate. "He's done." Skye blinked. "Just like that." "Exactly like that. We do not protect people who humiliate others. Ever." Skye nodded once. "I'll let Nico know he doesn't have to worry." "You just did." Yale walked back inside and asked Denise to join him in the office. 5 minutes later, she was on the phone with HR, requesting that Troy's access be revoked and his final check processed. No hesitation, no debate. By noon, the store had moved on. Skye stayed to help Bria reorganize the dry storage, even though she wasn't on the clock. Rosa practiced calling out orders at the front register while Tyler timed her blends. Nico, still a little reserved, handled the fruit station with quiet focus. No one pushed him. No one hovered. After close, Yale called a brief meeting. Staff gathered near the front, tired but alert. "I need you to understand something," he said. "What happened here didn't fix itself. It changed because you changed it. You didn't wait for permission to do the right thing. You just did it." He looked around the room. If someone disrespects a co-worker, they go. If someone tries to make you feel small for asking for rest or food or fairness, they go. That's not negotiable. We don't tolerate bullies. We don't elevate people who lead through fear. We protect each other. Rosa raised her hand. What if we mess up? Like, not anything bad. Just forget something. You learn. You take feedback. You improve. That's the difference. Nobody gets fired for being new. They get fired for refusing to treat others with dignity. No one responded right away. Not because they didn't understand, but because they did. Yale continued. This store's going to be a model. Not because it's perfect, but because it owns its mistakes and corrects them. That's what I want every location to learn from you. Tyler spoke up. And what about the managers that let this stuff happen before? Yale met his eyes. They'll answer for it. I'm auditing every store. Quietly. No one knows where I'll show up next. If they're leading through intimidation, they're gone. Sky nodded. Then I hope they've got resumes ready. There were a few short laughs. Not loud ones, just enough to break the tension. Yale stepped back. I'll leave you to close out. But before I go, Bria, come see me tomorrow at headquarters. I've got something for you. She looked uncertain. Am I in trouble? No, he said. You're in charge of something bigger now. The next morning, Bria sat in a small conference office across from Yale and two members of the operations team. A folder sat in front of her with her name on it. You're going to help develop a training module, Yale said, for new team leads across all stores. We'll build it around what worked here, what you did. It'll take a few weeks. You'll have support. But your voice leads it. She opened the folder slowly. Inside were outlines, notes, and a new badge. It's not just about this store anymore, he said. It's about setting the tone for every one of them. Bria looked up. I don't have a business degree. You've got something better. You've got the trust of people who didn't trust anyone before. She touched the badge once. Okay, let's do it. Later that week, Nico was back on register. Customers came and went. He hesitated once, stumbled on a word, then corrected himself and smiled. No one laughed. No one commented. Sky, standing nearby, just nodded once and went back to restocking. Outside, the sun dropped behind the roofline. The blender noise faded. The store lights glowed against the glass. No one called attention to it. No one needed to. The culture had changed. And this time it would stay that way.